Okay, hi everyone. Looks like we're recording. So let me share my screen. This video shouldn't be long. We are going to look at Desire to Learn for the class and the shared Google folder. A little bit of background on that. So let me get this dialed in. By the way, I teach a lot of keyboard skills in my classes. So one of the things I teach is if I hold down, this is on a PC, the control button and use the wheel on the mouse, I can zoom in. Now, some students know about that, some don't. Those that don't say, "Oh my gosh, I never knew." So a little trick. Okay, so here's our page, Research and Composition, Comp 200-052, Spring 2026. You see the cup of coffee and the pen and paper there. So the announcement here then is this is probably the only announcement that I'm going to put on D2L because most of I'll put class notes on the Google Drive and we'll have conversations in class. But D2L is very useful for certain things. It's just not going to be where I do ongoing announcements. If you go to content, for example, you'll be able to find under the table of contents syllabus, both as a Word document and as a PDF for accessibility. And it looks like those are both good according to the AI machine. Here's the timeline, again, as a PDF and as an Excel spreadsheet. This will also be available on the Google Drive. There are links here, these essential links for the Atlantic, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post. Now, this should click out to Rohrbach Library, and your first assignment is to create accounts with these publications and create a shortcut so that you can visit them. So when I say, let's take a look, you're ready to go. Okay, here, right? Back to content. And then the Google folder. Before I move away from D2L though, because I'm going to click on this and it's going to take me to what you're going to see in the Google folder. And what the Google folder does, again, I've inserted that into the class because it is a sandbox for us. It gives us space to create drafts, again, verbally through your phone. You can compose, you can email that work to yourself. You can create the doc straight up. You should be able to open a Google Doc and then activate your microphone feature on your phone and talk the text. So how you do that is up to you. But before I navigate away from D2L, I want to show you this. Now, I'm not going to go any further with that right now. The grades are not set up yet, and you're not supposed to see other people's grades anyway. So we're never going to go into that world. That's for me to work with. But under grades, you should be able to, let me slow down. I am very prompt at updating grades. So you know where you stand as the course unfolds. There may be a week or two mid-semester where I fall behind just by a week or two. I hope not. But don't get worked up if during the middle of week 8 and 9, like, oh, he didn't post the grades from yesterday. Yeah, I get to those. Right. Talk to any of my students, but there's a lot of grades and I try to keep them up to date. So what I'm showing you here is you should be looking at your grade. And if something doesn't come through that you submitted, there's usually a problem. Like maybe you didn't submit it to D2L as a PDF. So you did it on the Google Drive, but you didn't do it at D2L. I apologize for the double submissions. I really don't apologize, but I'll explain the double submissions. The Google Drive is for our sandbox. Again, it's for drafts. The Google Drive, once you finish this semester and say goodbye, 2 or 3 semesters later, I'll wipe it all away. So it doesn't hang around forever. D2L is forever, basically. They archive all of that stuff. So my point is, if there's ever a question about whether student A has submitted assignment 3, it's all on D2L. Now, that typically doesn't come up, once you get your degree and you're on your way and all that stuff. But what sometimes we have to do things like assessment, and what they'll do is they'll pull random assignments and they need to be through D2L. Usually the names are scrubbed and it's just data so they can say, is this meeting the requirements or the expectations of the class kind of thing, to explain all that so that it seeps in and you understand why I do things the way I do them. So you should be able to look at your grades. We're not going to have quizzes here or rubrics or awards or any of that. And assignments are posted on. I need the assignments on the Google folder because that's where I need you to create your drafts. Okay. So to trace our steps then, if we go to content and we go to Google folder. There it is, and it should expand out like this. This is what you should see on your end. So here we are, spring 2026, Comp 200, draft for the first writing, second writing, third, fourth, fifth, sixth if necessary. I kind of think not, and I discourage that, but I don't know. If somebody's in a pinch where it's like, I need to do one more, okay, we can negotiate that. I would suggest to you that there will be things at that point in the semester, week 10 or wherever we're at, that should occupy your time in a better way than writing and catching up, right? I discourage that, but it's there. Anyway, we will have a topics roster. I don't think I've created that yet. Let me click into the folder and see. No, I don't have that yet. What that consists of is a roster with everybody in the class, and then all of the columns are draft, 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 draft. And you're going to tell me what those drafts are. So you're going to have to come up with topics for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6 again. Now you're going to come up with a 6th topic. Work smarter, not harder. Course notes will be here. You can color code any of these. You right click and go to organize. So if you want to make this red, for example, or if you want to say organize, I'm going to make it gray because I'm done. I'm done with that assignment. I don't need to worry about it anymore. So I make it gray. Default is black. I do this all the time. It helps me. Course notes. This will unfold as a single page of a Google Doc that talks about we're going to be doing this and this and this. Usually it's a few bullet points. Here's what we're going to be doing in class or talking about. Here are concerns that I have. And I will open those at the beginning of the class session and say, here's what we're going to do. If you want to keep up or if you miss class, go to the course notes. Links are here. Did I upload this yet? Looks like I got something going here. Okay, to give you an idea, here's my YouTube material, which I'm working on at the moment, right? That's what this video is. All of this will be posted and organized in a specific way. Let's see if I can find this and this while I'm here. I'll get back to that and groom it. I think I actually can do that very quickly here. You're going to learn a lot about um, Google Docs and create, it's document literacy. So you see that when I pasted that in, I wanted it to be single spaced, but it's like more than single spaced, and it's kind of a mess. So I can do it single like this, or I can go to custom spacing. Custom spacing is often good because I can go to line spacing 1, and then before and after, I can go to 0 and apply that. See how that tightened it all up? That's what I'm after. And I have some material grayed out here. That means that I've taken care of that. So this is what I'm working on for really all my classes. I'll go ahead and let you see that. I'll prune it down. Let's see. Yeah, no, better for me to prune this down right now. Okay, I'm working on this one right now. Whoops. So once that's done, all of the links to my videos in the class so far will be available here. Now let me guide you through this again. So we're back at Comp 200, links, and then you open a document, and the document is going to look like this. I can get rid of that. And we'll see where it goes from there. Okay. See why this is a sandbox? I can make a little bit of a mess here and put down notes and then gray things out as a signal to myself. Yeah, this is where we play and engage. Beyond that, though, I see Instagram here, and I probably want to make this into bold so that I can highlight these segments. Students who disappear, Joe Hill on writing in AI, iPad kids, AI is degrading jobs, not replacing them, AI, Money and Power by Jon Stewart. A friend of mine on information overload in the times we live in. Excuse me. Power of the Humanities, Stranger Things. There's more. I will contribute more to this. Here's the Atlantic. Here's the New York Times. Substack, Washington Post, Politico, Gallup, Ted Goya, who's somebody I follow, etc. I will be adding to this. I may ask you to add to this, not right away. Let's take it slow because, right, we need to have a conversation about what kind of content is appropriate for us to talk about in the class. It's right. I have to be cautious with that. So there is links. You can go ahead and dive in on any of that. And my strategy here is, especially with the Instagram stuff, I'm just going to hit you with one thing after another and see what sticks. I'll run something and say, what do you think? And then we'll have a conversation. If you want to use that for a topic for one of your writings, you can do that. I want something to hit you in the chest and be like, yeah, I want to look into this AI stuff, right? I hate it. I love it. I have thoughts on it, etc. All right, you get the point. I'm back here. In-class assignments will be here. I've outlined that briefly. And right, and I'll be adding to that. I mean, I'll pull that information over. I don't think I have anything there. Oh, I do. Okay, I have essential writings and citations. So I have been building that little by little. And then here's the syllabus and the timeline here. And if I have to add additional folders, that's easy enough. Like if we do an in-class assignment and I say do that in the folder, then you'll create the document and name it and put it in there, and then I'll have it here in the folder. That's the beauty of the Google folder in all of this. It's super accessible. Okay, I've been making videos all afternoon, so I am going to sign off and talk to you soon. On we go.